Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode where we can finally unveil Just Cause 3. I've been waiting several years for this one, so I'm excited to be able to bring it to you in a 6400 by 1080 format, and we're going to check out 3 streams at a time so you guys can see as much of this game as possible. So if you're unfamiliar with the Just Cause series, I welcome you to this exciting, explosive adventure. So stock up on parachutes in the C4, and let's go blow some stuff up. So good morning to single-screen and widescreen gamers alike. I'd like to welcome you to part 1 of our Just Cause review. We're definitely going to do a couple more of these because there's going to be so much to see. And a big welcome to members of the Widescreen Gaming Forum community. Thanks for taking the time to check out this review, guys. I definitely appreciate all the tireless work you guys put in getting these widescreen games up and running. Fortunately, this one didn't have a whole lot of problems getting it up to snuff, at least in terms of the widescreen issues. There were some other graphical issues we're going to talk about a little bit later, but anyway, I'd like to take a moment and just give a quick explanation as to what it is that we're looking at here for any new viewers who haven't had a chance to see any of my previous reviews. What we're looking at here is basically just 3 streams at different times that I've captured, highlights here and there. And in our center screen, we're basically just going to do one straight playthrough without any interruptions. But on the top and bottom, you guys can take a look at some other highlights that I managed to capture. And the reason I'm doing it this way is my game capture software is basically capturing the entire game stream as one image without the bezels that you'd see between the monitors. So this results in some pretty heavy letterboxing at a resolution of 6400 by 1080. And the letterboxing is so severe I can actually fit a couple more game streams into it and yet still have letterboxing. So this is basically a way of just having more of the game shown at once so you guys can have more to see, because I know there is only so much time in the day. Now, the reason I'm so excited for this particular review is Just Cause is a game that takes me way back to the days of PlayStation 2. And these games were released so far apart that there was really only one game per system. The original Just Cause was a particular gem when I found it for the PlayStation 2 in a bargain bin many years after the PlayStation 2 had fallen out of style. There was something strangely compelling about the blocky man who would navigate the jungle with a parachute and grappling hook that was just so unique and interesting, and it had a really great fun factor. Now, the physics have obviously taken a bit of a step up since the original one, but it does continue to take that original's charm of kind of giving a big middle finger to the whole idea of physics, where the physics are really horrible and really great for all the right reasons, and the developers really managed to maintain a fun balance. And that's really the name of the game with this game. It is not taking itself seriously by any means. The whole idea is to just go out there and blow stuff up and have, a loose narrative and purpose associated around it. But all of the Just Cause games have maintained this idea of just a big open world in which the whole idea is to destroy as much of the red objects as possible. Now, there is a fairly decent amount of filler content in the form of destruction challenges and wingsuit challenges and the like, where you basically just find these little checkpoints and they give you an interesting way of interacting with the world, and I really don't think any open world game could be complete without them. But I can already see now there are going to be a few of the quests that aren't quite as fun as the others. I'm particularly not looking forward to any quests that involve driving, because although I do like the inclusion of vehicles, it really just feels like such a step down compared to the other modes of transportation in this game, which we're going to get to see a little bit later on. Some of you who may be coming off of playing shooter games that may have a more realistic aspect to them may find some of the gunplay in this game a little bit underwhelming, as you find that everyone and everything is a bullet sponge. But that said, the choice of firearms in this game is really a lot less fun compared to a lot of the other ways you can tear things apart. The grappling hook, for example, has now received an upgrade where you can attach multiple points together and then pull them towards each other for some very interesting and destructive results. Vehicles as well are also not the most fun, especially ground vehicles. The physics for driving is, well, pretty much as bad as all of the other Just Cause games. But again, the vehicles are really there to, stand on top of or throw into a barricade or basically occupy for a very limited amount of time. This problem is compounded by the lack of optimization for a lot of the AMD drivers, which was a big day one issue. I remember in the opening sequence flying on top of the plane, being so focused on what it was that I was shooting, when I finally stopped and looked around, I realized the entire world was made of holes and triangles. I mean, it looked so broken, I wasn't even mad. It just kind of made me laugh and, think of, other horrible broken game releases that have come out before. And again, the media has made quite a lot of mention of all of the problems that, this game has faced upon release. But as you can see here, with a quick beta driver update from AMD, everything seems to look fine, and I'm hoping after the first patch or two, this thing will be optimized much better, so I can get, a few more FPS out of the software. I am pushing the PC to the ragged edge at this point to get it looking as it is right now, so I'm thinking in the next little while it might be time for a complete overhaul. After doing a bit of poking around on the PC Builder website, I found that getting a PC that I could live with that would be up to spec for this game would probably set me back about 2,000 US, so that one's probably going to have to wait a little while. But what I can't wait any longer to tell you about is this wingsuit that you can see on the bottom screen here. The inclusion of this has been a masterstroke in island navigation, especially with some of the slower speeds that I remember from Just Cause 2, just getting around with the parachute. This was later improved with some rocket packs that you could add on to the parachute that would allow you to navigate over water, which was kind of nice, and I'm curious to see what kind of upgrades we're going to be able to get to our locomotion down the road in this game. If you're able to skim the wingsuit fairly close to the ground, you can take advantage of what's known as ground effect, where the denser air closer to the ground is going to provide you with some extra lift as you compress it into the ground with the compression of the wing. You're also able to use Rico's grappling hook to pull yourself along the ground as you can with the parachute, and you can definitely get yourself around a lot faster using the wingsuit. Just beware, you will be taking a few face plants until you get the hang of it. What I'd recommend is as soon as you're able to launch it, just pull up immediately, and generally you're able to avoid whatever it is you attached yourself to in the first place. I was also able to get an upgrade earlier on that allows you to draw in the grappling hook a little bit faster, and this allows you to launch yourself at very, very high speeds off of most objects. Just remember to pull up, because otherwise you are going to be launching yourself in ragdoll form several hundred meters. Now, if you do find yourself in this situation, you do seem to be able to still use the grappling hook to recover yourself in the event that you start taking a tumble, so keep that in mind. So on our top and bottom screen, we can see some of the side quests that you can do. These ones are basically to help you understand a bit more about the navigation of the wingsuit and understand its capabilities. So as you can see, you can actually get fairly close to the ground, and as long as you're able to maintain your speed using the grappling hook, you can basically do this indefinitely. So yeah, Rico can basically fly now. I confess the navigation mechanics were a little bit tricky for me to get used to at first, and there were several mistakes along the way, but after a while I more or less got the hang of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to help me navigate this island in Just Cause 3. And I finally managed to take out that damn satellite dish that was plaguing me, and it apparently gets classified as a massive object, so it seems that the game is now incorporating different object sizes into the different kinds of bonuses you can receive for blowing them up. Now, Just Cause 3 is not going to be without its grind. There are going to be certain things you're going to have to do if you want particular upgrades, including liberating different regions and different bases and things like this. And as you unlock these different areas, you're going to upgrade your weapons and be able to blow things up in a totally different way. But despite all the side quest filler and all the different things you're going to have to do to upgrade your player the way you want, it still kind of feels like an RPG-lite, where the main focus of the game is really just still go anywhere and blow up whatever you want. And as you do that, you're basically going to be rewarded accordingly. And although the main story missions seem to focus on some of the smaller islands at first, with the larger island being saved for later in the game, you are able to really just go anywhere and do anything. There doesn't seem to be the same kind of regional restrictions that we can all remember back from the original Grand Theft Auto and Vice City when we tried to go to new areas, and the game was basically like, no, you have to stay and finish those missions before you can go anywhere. I think the community has sort of done away with that concept with these open world games where you don't want to try to be two different things. If you're going to be an open world game that's all about freedom and doing whatever you want, you really should make those options available right from the beginning of the game. Other criticisms that I've heard also include that this really does feel a lot like Just Cause 2, and with that I would definitely agree. And the mileage you're going to get out of this game may largely vary depending on how much you modded Just Cause 2, because a lot of these sequels I've noticed these days tend to be taking some of the best components of their predecessors that were made by the modding community and essentially incorporating them into the new game. Probably without any sort of compensation for the intellectual property. Now, again, we all kind of get that when you're modding a game, it's not really yours because you are using original source content from the developer, but again, there isn't really a mechanism that seems to be in place right now to compensate people who obviously are seeing their work in a sequel. But fortunately, since as long as modding has been around, people have been willing to dedicate their time to upgrading the games to make them a little bit better as far as they're concerned, and that subjective cognitive surplus, I suppose, is probably just going to benefit everybody in terms of different ideas that maybe the developers didn't think of for the sequel. And I really don't think patent trolling by gamers is going to really do anyone any good at all. So, I'd definitely love to hear your thoughts on how you've enjoyed Just Cause 3 so far, or maybe some other areas you'd like to see some exploration of in the triple screen format. So thank you once again for tuning into this most particular of episodes on the Shredding Skeptic, and I invite you to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more in the triple screen format. Because remember, these are our games, and this is our story.